Okay, I want to emphasize the importance on this half volley that you practice and you work on getting the feeling of how do you play a drop shot off of it. And this is not really something that you're going to use in doubles very much because you're not really looking to pull your opponents in. You really want to keep them back. But in singles, this is really a vital shot to have. And you know, the mechanics of it are pretty much, everything's the same as what we've talked about before in terms of you come in, you've got your split step, you react to the path of the incoming ball by coming out of your split step, lining yourself up to the side of the ball, setting your hand and your racket down exactly where you think the contact's going to be, just slightly behind that point. And rather than being so aggressive with your feet moving forward to move the racket, this is going to be much more sort of a softening. And I can't really describe, I can't articulate to you what that looks like or what that feels like. It's something that you're going to have to practice. But here's what works best for me. When I come in, if I want to play a sort of a drop half volley, number one, what I don't do is I don't move through the shot as much. I'm not as forceful with my body mass coming in. So there's not as much push against that ball with my racket and my body as it normally might be. So I'm going to come in and I'm going to play it just a little softer. I might allow my hand to be softer and allow it to give a little bit. I'm not going to cup under it because what happens here, if you're thinking drop shot and you cup under it this way, invariably what happens is you get too much spin, and this cupping action is actually too much racket speed. Now, if you think about racket speed, what does that do to the ball? Well, more racket speed gives more power to your shot. And with a drop shot, you don't want power. So anytime you're in here, even if you don't have the racket back, if you're just right in here and you do anything with the racket, we call it cupping in here, you get a little bit too much racket speed, and sometimes you don't control the shortness of the depth that you want on that drop shot. So again, rather than feeling you're coming off of the ball, I want you to feel that you're softening it and almost allowing the ball to kind of push the racket back slightly, still letting the ball dwell, letting it sit on the string bed as long as you possibly can. You don't want to feel that you have to get rid of it by doing this. Again, we've talked about absorbing. Yes, you're going to absorb, but you're not going to forcefully move your feet through the shot as you normally might. Now, this is going to take a lot of practice. This is obviously not an easy shot, but once strategy-wise you can show your opponent that you've got the ability to play a drop shot off of this half volley, boy, you know, you've really put a lot of pressure on them. And I'm not saying that you have to win every one of these shots to be able to put that pressure on them. So I want you to work on this shot, set up a target on the other side of the net that's close. Again, don't be too eager to see what you've done by picking your eyes and your head up too early. What I want you to feel is, again, you're just going to, everything's going to look the same as before. You're going to split, come out of the split, get set up, keep the eyes down, and just soften it, slightly move your feet through it, and a lot of practice, and you'll be able to get this shot.